Guys, I collect TikToks.
This guy from China came up with a genius marketing trick and boosted street food sales. What's the idea? He placed an iPhone cutout on the pavement near his stall. As a result, passers-by stop, notice the iPhone, and walk over. To discreetly grab the phone, they end up making a purchase.
NPC wants free things off the floor. It's not so easy. Not so easy when you live in Asia. Then it's just a marketing trick of, you want free iPhone? Oh, it feels very awkward, doesn't it? You want to buy Apple? The rest is not going to be so funny. We are very serious on this channel, unfortunately, and I just took free view from you, so goodbye.
Jointless construction
We're going to talk about construction, guys. You can leave now.
technology that requires no glue, no...
I want cheaper houses, and they're always teasing you with this, like, new technology, fucking Lego-style technology. Give me, bro. Do I have to bend over? Do I have to buy Apple? How do I get it?
It works
bro?
like this. Simple. And this is it. We are shipping to Spain, Portugal, the Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, South Korea, Australia, and now the first shipment.
Why not my country? Mention my country for once.
Was done Florida, Miami, Florida. This is...
All I want to see is house prices crash. Please. How much per brick? Oh my god. Oh my god. Whoa!
Fire is...
He mentioned numbers.
More than thinking about the fact that I make more money than most men my age do in an entire year by simply buying like 1,000 Lego sets at the end of every year before they retire, holding on to them for like a year or two, and then selling them on Amazon for way more.
Yeah, if you didn't catch that, because I didn't catch that the first time, retiring Lego sets means that you cannot buy the Lego set anymore. And all of a sudden it shoots up in value because people still want those old Lego sets. That is crazy to me. I hate capitalism so much because there's these like exploitation feeling supply the demand moments where that's exactly how you should be acting in the world of capitalism. You should just offer things that people want to get.
There are men out
but it makes this guy feel really bad.
Who work 14, 16-hour days, they're the backbone of America, and they're not paid enough for all that time that they spend away from their families, providing. Like, they should be making the money that I make. It should be reversed.
We should, but only when we get a dude economy of trying to solve these issues, you know?
And sometimes you never know when you meet a psycho. Meet Senna. Meet Valkyrie. They was in that last picture I showed you. Look, they're right over here.
And they got followed by a dude. By an obsessed fan. Well, it shit happens, dude. It is a little bit awkward for this guy to state that women have to live like this. But most women don't have bodyguards either, right? They get obsessed fans to follow them, basically. Until those obsessed fans get what they want. It's crazy. But in real world, you just, cut the relationship short, or just run away, or just give them what they want, they leave you alone, and you move on. You might even secretly escort yourself through police if you have to escape these fucking weirdos. But I'm not sure if it actually... I mean, the dude talks about men, that most men are weird, most men have weird intentions, right?
Women out there, if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, my advice to you is guys are weird. If you even shake wrong, run. Zero politeness.
Guys are unpredictable to some extent, but they're sort of predictable also. It's hard to tell exactly who's at fault sometimes because, like, men can actually be deprived. And, switch in their brains into predator mode because, like, they're so deprived. They need it. They need to chase. They're so hungry. They're predator modes. Desperado.
You're going to love
it. Hurts me. Like, you have to live with pain. If you want to be a normal man, you just sit there living with pain. If you want to be a normal man who's not selling Lego sets, retired, like, oh god. Only in America can you do that. This seems to be interesting. A lot of people actually offer this as noise cancellation solution, right? Where you just like create white noise in your room.
Check this out. So if you want like a storm, you have the storm. You want to add some birds? You got some birds. Let's throw in some water. Right, you take the storm away.
You get the idea, right? I imagine this is air purifier too, of some sorts.
You know what they don't teach you about this country gaining its independence from Great Britain is that Great Britain in 1763 saw what the colonies were doing to the Native American tribes and said, proclamation line of 1763, these are the Appalachian Mountains, roughly, we're going to draw a line there, and from that point forward, it's for the Native Americans. Stop messing with their land, we honestly need them as a good example because they taught us how to survive here in the first place. Let them live. The colonies were then like, we're pretty well established without you. That's kind of annoying. Obviously, the tax stuff was like going on before, during, and a little bit after this. But you're telling me it's a coincidence that the American Revolution started 2 years later in...
Yeah, interesting. To kick out Native Americans, there was literally a revolution. To kick out Native Americans and British, it seems.
I got $4,584.
This guy shares with us his journey of organizing his work. Work has to be organized, unlike what I sort of say in a previous video. There are some things that you have to organize. There are a lot of things that you can just be lazy about and let it sit there until it becomes a problem.
Have fun.
In this case, this guy accumulated a problem and organized things very neatly. Where in Spotify, he decided to actually release songs. One song in 2 weeks. What did he do? He strategized.
Really like. So I would drag them into another folder called walls because...
Well, he organized this by bricks, walls into houses. Brick being a piece of a song and house being the full composition, right? This is how you do work. You do it step by step. You make it into small elements that can be put together nicely, and it's so much better. Because that's what a song is. It just has a bunch of bricks and walls. A lot of skill coming together nicely instead of, piecing bricks out of thin air. Everything is a separate element, and this is very nice to organize it as such. I don't really do that in programming. I have an idea in mind of what I want to do for the day, and I try to execute that. It's not the same for me. However, also idea accumulates on my YouTube channel, and then I just hammer it. I don't put too much effort into my videos, so, I just accumulate something. Accumulate an urge to do something. So it's a little bit different for me, but yeah, that should work. Do simple things, more complicated things out of those bricks, and then try to pull off the full composition of those complicated patterns. Get yourself a singer in there, squeezed in there.
Do I regret
deserves more respect. I think I have featured him before.
quitting school? Definitely not. It's been 3 years now since I'm not in the school anymore, and I'm full-time traveling, making fires, eating chicken, out here in the snow, almost naked up here in the mountains, sleeping in the shelter tonight. And that's just...
The saddest part is, he's completely alone. He doesn't even have a friend. A companion of sorts. I'm like, wow, you live an interesting lifestyle. Someone has to fucking give up their shitty lifestyle just for a week, just to hang out like this. Like, so much experience you can get from people like this. It's crazy.
This is
How do you get money? What? Yeah, let's go TikTok.
This is American cake, and I have a problem.
It looks cute. Look at that.
Exactly. It looks cute. It looks cute. So you buy
Yeah, that's all Americans care about. On a surface level, it just looks cute.
it. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? This thing. What is this? In Europe, we have a layer, the cake, then we have panna, then we have fruit, we have other things. So it is a blooming creation, the ingredients.
What is this empty shit?
In the fall of 2022, a TikTok user went viral because she inexplicably started digging a tunnel under her home in the suburbs, wearing a dress and pearls and lipstick.
Yeah, inexplicably. Was so curious. What would happen if you
That's how
start
things
digging?
work in the real world. The real world.
But you have to adhere to the government said. In a way, it's, yeah, and then she did
You
that.
tell a person like this that they can't dig without a bunch of paperwork saying that they can do so. The answer is,
I don't know, it's a very weird story of like a person suddenly versus the government after you find your passion of digging. Because the government will always try and stop like weird behavior. No matter what. This is why they so quick to establish like medical science. Oh, weird behavior. You must be crazy.
different than running to a particularly difficult layer of rock. She just looked up what needed to be done and did it, and now she has approval to keep digging. Because she understands something that I think very few people do, which is that the stone is not as hard as it looks.
Let's go, let's dig a house instead of building one.
Major changes are coming for the UK's healthcare system because Prime Minister Keir Starmer has...
I feel like she actually commented to be featured. Wow.
Major changes are coming for the UK's healthcare...
So Starmer thought of like pulling NHS back to the government control because NHS had too many freedoms and probably leached government in some stupid ways. Being inefficient in doing so, not hiring enough people, who knows? But like people have complained enough, and it's time to make a sudden change for this healthcare thing.
This guy literally invented the future of transportation. His name is Frankie Zapata, and he is the creator of the Flyboard, a futuristic hoverboard device. The Flyboard has a top speed of about 90 miles per hour and can fly without needing to...
Yeah, imagine being able to buy one. But no ways, it's like military equipment. And not perfector approved. Yeah,
to refuel for 10 minutes. At max speed, you can get a range of about 15 miles.
Cool stuff, man.
And then here
But cool is not good enough. It's not viable for normal people.
played the move.
I don't know. I got sucked into this.
Right, so I'm thinking, oh my
Dude
God,
was successfully beating Carlson.
My mother about the things that happened to me, and that's the reason that in adulthood I did not have a positive relationship with her. Let me read you the narcissist's prayer if you've never heard it. That didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad, and if it was, that's not a big deal, and if it is, that's not my fault, and if it was, I didn't mean it, and if I did, you deserved it. I'm not saying every boomer parent.
Damn. The gaslight prayer. Imagine that. That's as close I gotten to understanding gaslighting.
That's not my fault.
I mean, this is as clear as day, like 5 lines of code. I would actually turn it into
that didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad, and if it was, that's not a big deal, and if it is, that's not my fault, and if it was, I didn't mean it, and if I did, you deserved it.
But for every one of these steps, you have to find enough evidence to push them lower and lower into submission. It's crazy. However, the funny thing is, as the story progresses and keeps getting progressively worse, you should be able to gather enough evidence and prove to those people that it's over, dude.
Intensely broken, disgusting human beings.
Well, you stay away from NPCs.
All you have to do,
even though you have to live with them, you still, well, have to go through a progress of disarming them, showing who's boss, taking responsibilities from them, just to neutralize the NPC behavior, and it's still gonna be annoying. It's still gonna fucking drive you crazy. But you can slowly assert your dominance, as unfortunate as that sounds. It's a job that you have to do. You have to fight reality to disarm these fucking weirdos. that happened to be my parents. I had to fight them over and over again. Now I have to fight my neighbors. It's just a progression map. I mean, fucking crazy. Just to live the way I want to live, I have to fight everyone in my path. No fucking exceptions. Everyone's an enemy. That's how crazy it is. It's not like disgusting human beings. No, it's just the enemy. At some point, you will run out of, insults to throw. At some point, it doesn't even matter. It's the enemy. Parents have one advantage, and they use it very extensively. I can't lose to a baby, nor can I lose to a child, nor can I lose to a young adult who haven't built a family in case I brainwash them to make one. This is technically one of those big reasons why NPCs spawn babies, is because they have full control over them for a limited period only, but it's good enough for them, you know? They can be disgusting human beings, they can be evil, but they can still have control over a child. It's so crazy. The life still gives them that privilege of like, I know you're evil, but here, take care of this child. He's gonna be more evil than you and will obliterate you.
So this homeless man was playing an
Obliterate you if you attach to the child. If you give child shitty fucking upbringing and he will be stuck with you. Uh-oh.
instrument, and most people were walking right by him.
I don't know, a person that's a celebrity that disguised as a homeless person. That's interesting.
Sono had been doing a social experiment to see if people would still recognize the quality of his music if he was a homeless man. But despite regularly performing his songs to sold-out crowds, Sono was so touched by Shabaz's 12 rupees that he framed it and put it next to his most prized awards. He later said that he would give Shabaz a great...
People have watched him perform, but nobody donated it except for these 14 rupees. And the dude donating actually was like thinking of like, wait, I heard you before. It's kind of fascinating.
If you're looking for a job right now, stop applying.
This guy, bro. This guy.
I lost my full-time job, and within a week, I found new employment, and I'm a lot happier. In the months leading up to me losing my job, I had been applying.
This guy is the dude, economy guy.
On LinkedIn, on Indeed, every single day when I woke up at 6 in the morning, and when I was at work.
Internet is a waste of time. Internet is a waste of time for dating. Internet is a waste of time for finding a job. People are gaslighting themselves that they can be successful across the internet. It's not gonna happen, bro. Unless you're making direct money from here, which is hard enough, you think you're gonna find a job? You think you're gonna find people who like you? It's more likely gonna be scams. It's more likely gonna be just things floating around in space than actually grounded in reality, real business, doing real things, needing real people to do real help.
And never heard anything back, not one time. When I knew I was about to lose my job, I was like, okay, I need.
You must understand that internet is not moderated world. In fact, this is the biggest problem with the internet. Moderation is literally the biggest problem across every single section in here, including the section where I get too many haters to my videos. Fuck you guys.
Job right now, and instead of applying to places, I looked at places. I looked at companies on Google Maps around my house, and
I would still need so much courage to do this.
And I just sent them an email, and they were not hiring. I sent them an email saying, hey, I know you're not actively hiring right now, but I want you...
They created a position for me. It's crazy, dude.
I wanted to send my resume to you to have on file.
Like, people will definitely treat you much better if you're locally based. You just go to your workplace, start talking to them immediately. It's like straightforward stuff.
I only emailed 2 of these places, and they both got back to me.
Astronomical reception, guys.
One of them, which is still across the street, was hiring for a remote position. And 2, the other place...
Yeah, whatever people are actually putting up front on the internet can also get outdated, can turn into a scam, can turn into a shitty hopes and dreams offering that does not actually exist. Like, people exchange hopes and dreams on the internet, and the They're not grounded enough to actually get anything real from this. I've been on the internet, guys. That's all I do. I get this realization myself.
You guys, they changed peace tea. You have to, okay, look at this. Regular peace tea can, new peace tea can. Ingredients.
Let's go. Shitflation. Greedflation in this case.
Tea.
Holy crap.
Cane sugar, natural flavors. Ingredients.
Glucose
high fructose corn syrup. And all of this crazy shit.
High fructose corn syrup. Okay.
So the mess you see behind me was created by one homeless person in one day.
One homeless created 3 jobs. It's crazy, dude.
This was completely clean.
This is how much we don't give a fuck. We just let people do crazy shit instead of helping them find their place, because clearly that's not what they should be doing. All right.
Yesterday. Now, it doesn't really seem like the biggest mess you've ever seen, and that's true.
But you have to think through limitations, unfortunately. The limitation is that we're playing a game of capitalism, and whatever happens, happens until the game stops. Until people realize that this is no longer fathomable thing to keep going and keep doing. So there's not much to it.
Imagine getting bitten by a snake, and instead of helping yourself recover from the poison, you chase the snake and try to find out why. You try to prove to the snake that you didn't deserve to get bitten. We often dwell on the source of our pain.
This is how I treat haters. Fucking snakes. I'm not gonna ask why. You're banned. I don't care anymore. I just give up fucking chasing snakes. It was nice while it lasted, but people prove themselves to be like absolutely useless. You know, even if I try to hold a person, they still gonna slip like a little fucking snake. Over time, they're gonna be more and more bitter and disrespectful to me. You know, the first time you discover someone, it's like, whoa, that's crazy. The next day is like less and less exciting, and it's fine. It's fine, but you cannot just let go entirely. You gotta follow what you follow. You gotta be excited about the experience that you had, not the lack of experience, or be tormented by lack of experience that you cannot get. Seeking validation. Uh-oh.
Whenever I try to explain to somebody...
Well, seeking dopamine in this case. And if you can't find enough dopamine, if it makes you feel bad, uh-oh, everything is crashing. But that just means you have to move on. A lot of relationships are just one-night stands until something interesting happens, alright?
That profit is the biggest waste of resources that we have in America by a mile. People don't seem to understand what I'm trying to say, so here's just one example. We spend $4.9 trillion per year on health.
It's the same thing. I feel like it's the same thing with NHS. There's a lot of leeches in the system. There's a lot of bad players of capitalism, and we have to really take care of them. We really have to weed out all the bad players.
Healthcare in the United States.
And healthcare happens to be one of the worst players across the board. Apparently, it doesn't even matter if it's UK or US.
That is 17.6% of the country's GDP. Now let's compare that number to the highest possible estimation of what it would cost to give every single man, woman, child, and baby access to healthcare in America. At the absolute highest of estimations, that number is $3.034 trillion. So you're probably wondering, well, wait a minute. If it costs $3 trillion to give every single American health care, but we're spending $4.9 trillion, which is almost $2 trillion more than what we need to for every American to have health care, but at the same time as that overspending is happening, not every American has access to health care. So where is all of that extra money going? It's just profit. It's one word. It's just profit. That extra...
Welcome, guys. This guy did math. Put 2 and 2 together.
The amount of energy required to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude than to create the original bullshit.
Is the very similar to the snake thing, but it's probably a little bit interesting.
Claim. And this is so true. I'm going to tell you something that's not true. If you consume instant coffee made from instant coffee granules, you're likely to make yourself sick because they're pro-inflammatory, because you're consuming the whole granule. But if you consume percolated coffee from coffee beans, that's okay, because you're not consuming the whole coffee. Okay? I've just made that up. But somebody can go on there. It took me what?
Now, it's a little bit annoying because I'm also in the same position where I can just be spitting bullshit. And I do a lot of speculation, a lot of just logical work. And often you're going to bump into people who are believing in bullshit, and it's so easy to just cram your head with bullshit. Logic is the thing that actually eliminates bullshit. Thinking that something is not quite right, or adopting patterns of thinking. Like, this is what frustrated me immediately. We already in drama with this guy. This guy thinks that this person is not a female, not a woman. Like, what? What are you talking about? It's literally the vibe that she would want to even have and project, and it's completely different. And she came and left like a woman doesn't want to stay in one place for too long. What the fuck? And the dude had doubts. All of a sudden, like, I keep bumping into these irrational ways of thinking, and it triggers the shit out of me. Of like, how can you possibly do this? How can you come to such a crazy conclusion, right? And even worse, defend your point of view as if it's like important or whatever. Have high esteem on bullshit. Like, with logic, you wouldn't get into troubles like these. This guy actually started this whole fucking crusade in my Discord through the argument that I'm actually over-speculating, over-assuming things too quickly or something. But there are some things that are just obvious, and some things that we don't know until we test. With the coffee granules thing, you have to test. You have to double check. This is why a lot of TikTokers, all right, you made a statement, let's test that statement. There are some abstract statements like the food is cheaper, then it's also tastier. It's a go-to food because it's not being, greed-flated a bunch of ways. And as many times as I tested the statement, it seems my experience is confirming that every single time and making me feel more obligated to buy cheap foods, not more expensive ones, because the difference is negligible.
30 seconds to state that. Now, just imagine if I had to go and refute that and counter that. I'd have to cite certain studies. I'd have to show the mechanism. I'd have to show that actually that's not how instant.
But the funny thing is, this is why you have to focus on things that matter and things that you would spend time disproving and making sure that you have the exact good mindset about it, right?
It was fake, but it turns out this is real. As you may know, on the back.
Russians are so disgusting people that
Representative say
some Russian officials, who the fuck knows who, please step aside, Mr. Contino.
Now there are some, to quote that mayor, they
Jesus
said one
Christ,
woman
dude.
but that wasn't gifted them meat.
Gifted her a meat grinder. I hope you understand what this means. We just threw all the men into a meat grinder, guys. Aren't you proud of us? It's disturbing, bro. It's absolutely disturbing. They can still... I cannot defeat a baby. I cannot defeat a child. I mean, I can defeat a baby. I can defeat a child. And I can defeat a person who wants to go to war against another shitty country. Oh, yes, let's go. Kick them out of the house. Let them fight. Game over. Oh, wow. And your parent wins. Yet again. They have weird fucking twisted ways to get rid of you, basically. What the fuck?
Hey, so this is insane. Remember how a couple days ago it was uncovered that USAID was spending tens of millions of dollars on allocations to news agencies? Doge just found another one, and it's worse. Reuters apparently received $9 million from the Department of Defense for the purpose of, let me make sure I get this correct, large-scale social deception and active social engineering defense. DARPA claims this money was spent for cyber defense purposes.
Wait, what? Really?
So are we just going to ignore the fact that ChatGPT just fundamentally disproved everything that we believe to be true about reality? Sam Altman's over here freaking out about it.
Now, I'm not gonna confirm that this is what happened.
That consciousness was the only thing that exists, or if the materialistic universe was also real, and the answer that it gave blew my mind and shocked everyone. Here's where things got crazy. It said that consciousness fundamentally exists, but what you can't prove is that matter, that the universe around us exists, because you observe the universe around you through your consciousness, and that
It's a very interesting conclusion, but I would put it differently. That consciousness transforms into different forms of consciousness, into potentially solid matter consciousness, which would also not exist because you just left that solid place. The solid places cannot chase your consciousness, but it's still consciousness. It just doesn't give a fuck about you because it's solid, it's very slow, and it's under your control, basically. That's what happens to consciousness when it solidifies. It's yours. You can do whatever you want. This is why we glorify robots, because we can do whatever we want with robots. We can do whatever we want with pixels. Solid matter is basically under your control. Animals immediately who have a little bit of consciousness, or insects, they try to run away from you. They try to avoid your attacks and them getting killed. Immediately, an insect is avoiding the shit out of you. Whether it's be a roach, fucking mosquito. Now, ladybugs, they don't give a fuck. Alright? Some insects, they don't care because they can't run away from you anymore. But even ants would try and run away when they are in danger, when there's something going on, right? They will just leave that area that is actively chasing them down. While the Earth itself, it's such a slow and insignificant piece of consciousness that it doesn't do anything. It's just under your control. You can do whatever. It's still potentially consciousness. It might be connected to something, but it's so different that we actually, like, you can potentially eat it and turn it back into consciousness. You can raise its level, I guess. So it's better to separate these two things that we need. Like, it's a spectrum, basically. And it's...
The mistake I see people make when dealing with a narcissist is calling them out. Now, I know that feels like the right thing to do because you want to expose them and you want to make them see what they're doing and you want to prove to them and maybe even yourself that you're not crazy. But the second that you confront them, you don't actually win. You just trigger them, because when a narcissist feels exposed, they don't...
I mean, confrontation versus narcissist is just the start of the battle.
reflect. They retaliate. And they'll do things like gaslight, and they'll twist your words, and they'll turn the situation...
Well, they will find things to fight against, right? They will find games, just like capitalism is a game. They will find a game where they can beat you, basically. Right? And hopefully that game matters.
...around until you're the one defending yourself, and before you...
Except in the game that I played, where I showed a stick and they showed a baseball bat. I mean, like, yeah, you win the game, but that's not the fucking thing we're playing right now, okay? We're playing conversation, bro. That you don't want to fucking have at all. Another narcissist I bumped into is like, oh, we're having a conversation. Let me scream at you because I don't respect you. I am louder. I am prouder. I win this conversation. No matter what we're talking about, and no matter what words comes out of my mouth. And it's like, we're not barking at each other, okay? Who's the loudest? Conversation is not about that, all right? There is a problem, and narcissist clearly doesn't want to solve the problem. It likes being the problem until they get shamed. Socially shamed is the next fucking step that I might have to go
know
through.
it. The conversation you started for clarity has turned into a psychological war zone where you're the one losing ground.
Yeah, I mean, he described it very well.
So here's what you should do instead. You outsmart them and you confuse them because narcissists rely on control and predictability. Like, they need to know exactly how you'll react. So when you don't respond how they
I mean, they have to get the reaction of you lost. You're disappointed in yourself or whatever, some bullshit like that. They have to win the game against you, you know? And then they can do whatever they want. At that point. You're disappointed, get out of the way, bro.
He can convince me that the platypus is not a science experiment. It's like a duck, beaver, otter hybrid. It's also a mammal that lays eggs. It's also venomous, which is weird for a mammal, and its venom is found in its back legs. It just kicks you to envenomate you. It also doesn't have teeth, so it uses rocks to chew up its food. And I don't know where its food goes, because it also doesn't have a stomach. It also doesn't have nipples, but it gives off milk, just kind of leaks out of its armpits. It's also an aquatic creature that doesn't have senses in water. It goes blind and deaf when it jumps in water. But that's cool because it can connect to the electromagnetic field. It can sense electrical pulses in other creatures' bodies.
I can't wait to be a platypus.
I was today years old when I learned that if you add the word fuck to everything that you Google, it will not give you those shitty AI results. I did not know that this was a workaround, and then I was listening to the Script Notes podcast, and they mentioned it, and I tried it, and it works. See, this is the results that I got when I Googled who was the first king of France, and then I added the word fuck onto the end, and I got this. No AI results. As someone who swears a lot but doesn't like those fucking AI results, this kind of makes my day.
I don't know if this works. I don't know if I want to test it. Because I usually don't search in Google. I just thought it was funny to add fuck in the end. Ah. Alright, cool.
Is definitely a genius. He actually used two magnets to create a shock absorber, making bicycles incredibly comfortable from now on. It all started when he picked up a discarded speaker by the roadside. Inside, he found two them with internal screws. Now, he could finally install the two.
I mean, you don't need the whole process, but I guess shock absorption is kind of interesting. We just wouldn't know without magnetic suspension.
So I think I might have found the
It's a little weirder than that, isn't it?
greatest invention
But I don't even know. It just kind of blows my mind.
that ever existed on planet Earth. What is this? This is literally a gift
Bro found a coffee machine. That's crazy.
from the gods, and it's so convenient. In America,
Alright, me and my two childhood friends have literally just quit our jobs and we've got a one-way ticket to Thailand and we go on the 31st of March.
Uh-oh. It's Vortex time. Vortex being that you heard about an opportunity, usually from poorer countries, and you're gonna dive right in there without waiting. Wait a little bit. It's a Vortex here. Just wait. Opportunities will come and go, just like Whammon on my Discord. And because I wasn't chasing that Whammon, she just came and went. And it's beautiful, okay? A woman has to stick around. See that she is needed. Instead of finding some kind of drama, some kind of reason to hop in, and then... I don't even want to mention, bro. It's fucking weird. Kind of get attached to, like, you kind of need to organize your stuff. Of, like, I could do that. And I never really gave her confirmation, but it's like, sure, hang out. I don't know if you find yourself useful. Who cares, right?
Go! Because we think staying here at the minute is just not viable because we're having to work 9 to 5 jobs also while trying to pursue a
Just sell retired Lego builds, bro.
and doing that in the UK is just near impossible nowadays. Just with the
Capitalism is a game, guys. Stick with it, bro.
cost of living, the weather is normally shit, the quality of life here is just not good, everyone's miserable, no one really wants to see you do well either, and that's why we're gonna go. So our other friend isn't here right now, but
working.
Yeah, he's working. That's the reason why we have to go, so we can actually.
So people are downgrading, just like I've mentioned in the capitalism video. They're downgrading from interesting countries to not so interesting countries. We'll see how it goes for them, you know? They could end up happy. They could end up still finding a balance. in the game.
Check this out. This car from China will help you get out of parallel parking spots by spinning the rear wheels in opposite directions so it rotates the back out. All you have to do is drag the car out.
Yay, let's go. We can do that now. Oh, sorry, I don't drive cars.
This guy is a Trump light version with an
I don't know why I like this one.
Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah, he got caught. He got fucking
Also,
caught.
in question, leaked all of the emails that they were corresponding with back and forth. If this is what a single scammer with a Yahoo email could have done.
Yeah, so a politician got scammed in my country alone. He's the one who worries about Lithuania. Makes sense.
Oh, this is literally my whole screen.
Yay, Rebecca has collabed. She's collabing with some people right now. It's crazy. She's still fucking doing the same rerun of Fridays. Fucking annoying sometimes.
Wait, what? How did you find this?
Lots of effort. You know what that pole is right there?
That's the bus stop.
That's
baby.
the bus stop.
Wow. Oh, this was a beautiful place. Beautiful home. Childhood home. Oh my God, my gorgeous hometown of Anaheim Hills. And it's right by we used to go. Oh yeah, all the birds. Oh my God, there it is. Hello. That was easy. Wow. There she is. 777. That was where we shot the Friday video. I performed the last chorus of Friday on these steps of this weeping willow, just so you know. We shot.
I am going to use £100,000 of my own money to try and buy £1 million worth of people's debt.
Isn't that crazy that you can do that? Because debt is an asset that someone else has as well against you. It's like an enforcement asset. In other words, if you owe government $100K, the government, without being able to enforce the debt onto you and collect it, will sell the debt to someone else of like, hey dude, do you want to buy this debt for $10,000? And guess what this guy is trying to do? He's trying to pose as a debt collector who wants to buy other people's debt, which is so fucking weird, isn't it? A second person comes in and buys all people's debts. You cannot buy your own debt, but your debt can be bought much cheaper, it seems, and can be excused, pardoned, because, oh, I'm not going to enforce the debt onto you. Don't worry about it. I just bought it for you. That's such a fucking crazy concept.
From round here. Back. George's debt, plus whatever interest or charges he owes.
Oh yeah, let's not forget interest.
Get sold on to a debt-buying company. And if they can't collect it, it might get sold on to another debt-buying company. And here's the thing. Each time debt, like George's, gets sold on, it gets cheaper and cheaper to buy.
But not for George, who still has to pay the original debt.
It can't be right.
It cannot be a right system, guys.
There's a system where those that are most vulnerable, their personal affairs and their debts have been passed from place.
That just was mind-blowing to me. I'm like, what?
To be collected, and there's that long-term, drip, drip, drip of pressure all the time.
What is happening? What is this debt thing anymore? What is reality, guys?
I used to take maybe 15-20 minutes to get
this will fuck your reality up
to
too.
This height. And now it took me 3.5 minutes. Don't look out of breath. My sweating, like I literally just mobbed all the way up here. In 3.5 minutes. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. This is absolutely amazing. Like, look at this. Just picking my leg up. Do you understand the incline?
No, I don't understand. This is crazy technology. Thank you very much.
I just had two very weird experiences at the grocery store, and I don't know how to process either of them. So it's the end of the workday. I have to go to the grocery store because I need to get more multivitamins. So I get there, and it's right around dinner time, so it's mobbed from all the people getting off of work. And I don't feel like dealing with the traffic of people fighting to get the closer parking spot, so I park at the very end of the parking lot where there's no other cars. I make my way inside the grocery store, I go and get my multivitamins, and then I go over to the self-checkout lanes to get in line. So there's like 3 or 4 people ahead of me that I have to wait for, but that's not the focus. The focus is on the lane next to me that's a regular checkout lane, because there's a guy in that lane with a cart that has probably at least like 15, 20 things in it. And the girl at the register is pulling things off the conveyor belt, scanning them, and then putting them in bags. She gets to the last item, she gives the guy's total. He looks at it and goes, it's a little bit over my budget. Can we try taking this thing off? You know, she does her thing, whatever, scans it, takes it off the bill. Looks at the new total, is like, it's still a little bit too much. Here's the kicker. He doesn't stop doing that. They keep going through this cycle where he tells her, though, that thing's too much, take that off, until he got down to one item. His initial bill was like $57, and he kept saying it was too much until he got it to the point where it was like $1.72. The only item he ended up keeping was a can of Pringles. And the guy was so deadpan serious about it the entire time, nobody really knew how to react. And I think my favorite part was that after he finished and paid for it, he popped the can open and just started eating the Pringles right in the store. He didn't even wait to leave. But anyway, he gets done right around the time one of the self-checkout registers opens up. So I walk up to the register, and right as
it's almost like fucking manipulative behavior.
I walk up to mine, there's one next to me. Another gentleman walks up to that register with a card.
Haters are evolving as we speak,
We
guys.
only had one item. It was one of those Reese's peanut butter eggs that's like this big, just sitting in the center of the cart. And so I'm trying to
It's so fucking annoying.
mind my business, but it's just so obscure, and there's something comical about it to me that I'm paying attention to it. He gently reaches into the cart, delicately picks up the peanut butter cup, scans it very gently.
Fucking haters, bro. They're now luring people in for drama.
He puts aside and grab his bag to walk out. No, he was just making sure his wallet was in his pocket, and then proceeds to walk out into the parking lot, pushing a cart with just a single peanut butter egg in it. So this man pushed the peanut butter cup all the way through the parking lot to the very back. So I get it. So yeah, two very bizarre situations that happen back to back at the same place. But I'm gonna be honest with you, with the way things are going in the world right now, I kind of think I needed to see that today. Like that really.
Like Alex Jones is a great example. People house
They're actually. How about other what? It's kind of what was being described. I just don't understand why they accuse Alex Jones. What?
People understand how good the defense of a pangolin is. It's the only mammal in the world with scales, and those scales are made of keratin. That's the same protein that our fingernails are made out of, or our hair. Not to mention, those scales are really sharp. So it's basically their shield and their sword. And basically, when they run into a predator,
I guess that's why it was sensitive content.
all they do is just roll up into a ball really tight, and nothing, not even a hyena.
Yeah, it is sensitive because, like, you would think this tiger or lion gets damaged by attacking this.
Or a lion could bite through it. They'll try and slice up their mouth until they realize what they're doing is dumb. I think that just became my new favorite animal. I don't think people.
Yikes! Sliced up mouth.
Anyone else?
Favorite animal? I mean, there's competition with the platypus, but I've never really got to see this thing, you know?
I don't think people.
This creature, bro. Evolved hedgehog.
Anyone else see the video of that lady who said that teeth can actually heal themselves and that they should never deteriorate?
Yeah, I saw it, and what if I told you that most dentists would agree that that is true, but there is an exact circumstance that needs to happen for that to happen. One, a lot of people keep saying that dentists say there is no way teeth can repair themselves. It's not possible, and that's just not true. We all agree that the teeth has the ability to remineralize, but it has to be something that we call an incipient lesion, a very, very small lesion. Think of it like a dent in the side of the wall. If I just dent the side of the wall here, it's very easy to do just a nice little plaster. That's what we're talking about. But if you punch a hole through the entire wall and these bugs get all up inside the inside of the wall, I'm sorry, there's nothing that you can do there. You're gonna have to hire a contractor and get that whole wall fixed and get those termites out of there. And so that's the first thing, that teeth can heal themselves. And the other one is that teeth should never deteriorate. And the answer is actually technically yes. Teeth were never.
He obviously says that the moment you touch other bacteria, the moment you deal with.
Feel the heat that way, so you're not transferring that.
The moment you get mother's milky is it's over, dude. You'll start losing teeth. Cavities, bro.
This might be the most chilling statistic that's come across my desk in the last couple of weeks. As a 20-year career coaching veteran, I know the job market's bad. I've been talking to you a while about the white collar job recession, but this statistic that I'm going to break down for you is something that anyone working
Fucking software engineering died.
in white collar, 6-figure, higher level jobs should be worried about and addressing right now, because you're going to want to understand.
Again, it's a game, and it has these chilling moments, unfortunately, where AI took over and fired everyone. But eventually AI will take over so well that it will fire businesses as well. And we'll be able to socialize again because businesses don't matter anymore. We just get served, you know? We just sit in our little places, chatting with each other, and we get served all the things that we want. Imagine how cool that is, and it costs pennies. You just have to behave, you know? Fucking awesome future. You just gotta wait, bro.
It appears to me that some of you don't really know that much about Elon Musk, which is
You gotta wait successfully. It's one of those, like, greatest max stats of just, like, reducing our stress and understanding that situations that we are getting into. Imagine if you were a stupid person. What would happen to you if you were a stupid person? I mean, like, it would crush the shit out of you. So you should be happy for the things that you have, for the sanity that you have. If you're capable of surviving and having free time for yourself, I mean, you made it. Just keep pushing, because the world cannot be the same fucking weird, twisted game as it is right now. Especially right now, especially during the times of big changes where everyone is panicking. Of course it cannot last. It shouldn't last. We should have a time of peace longer than the time of war and changes. Of course, Russia will be defeated at some point and it will have to be forced into some kind of deal. But we just like trying to wiggle ourselves of how are we gonna nicely defeat Russians this time? Nicely. Ugh, I hate that, but it is what it is.
actually enrolled.
Fuck Elon Musk. No one cares right now. Oh yeah, this went viral, bro.
What's going on here? Jesse, do you want to see Korean men? I'll show you. We've been catfished.
Let's go.
One thing that Koreans do often that I absolutely despise is looking down on Southeast Asians, that they're somehow not as good, that it's an mistaken for Filipinos or Thai, and absolute.
I don't know, it's I was doing research on South Korea, guys.
Being born and raised, you feel like the whole world is full of bad people. When I went South Korea last year, it's the most civilized country I've ever been to. Everyone out there is soft. But yeah, I'm still looking over my shoulder constantly. I'm always on edge. Like anytime a moped pulls up, I think it's gonna rob my phone. But like, life shouldn't be like that.
So today was the first time in my life that I ever had a Bulgarian tomato. Literally a tomato. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh, it's a tomato, whatever. I'm gonna just bite into it and blah, 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 blah. I kid you not. I am not even capping. The tomato tasted like it was planted in Jesus's garden. Jesus himself made this tomato.
So Donald Trump's own words are now being used against him. Stock market crash in which the Dow drops by more than 1,000 points.
And it already did.
Dropped by more than 515 points. So that is a drop of over 1,100 points in 2 days. So Donald Trump's
All right. My comment was of like, he's a smart man and he will be impeached now. Because he's so smart, he understands the situation here very well, right?
You're telling.
Apparently there's a better way to get all this stuff out of a can. And it's this way. And it's much cleaner. This one is even not all of this. It's like, what the fuck? So much work. He just found the coolest life hack.
We also promised Russia that NATO would not move an inch further east, and we all saw how that worked out. Okay, the countries that have joined NATO were largely because they feared Russia.
Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan this week and said that he'd think to see all of us
Ah, yes, it's the empathy thing.
peasants fight in the Hunger Games style battle to the death.
What's one thing? It's Zorg. He's here, Mr. Zorg.
Elon Musk went on.
What's one thing you wish everybody knew about your job before trying to do it themselves?
I mean, this is technically a skill tree. The more skillful you are, the higher you're gonna climb in this ladder. On average, however, you're gonna climb on average. You're gonna have a range of, like, you have no idea how to make music, to the point where you have no idea how to make music that people would want to listen to the point where you have no idea how to make music because you're still average as fuck right now, and the competition is killing you. But eventually, you're gonna break through just one hit at a time, and all of a sudden you start climbing, just like I'm on YouTube, like getting one hit after another, giving me clues of how to behave on this platform.
Mine is right here, and I've said this before. Content creation,
might as well leave this as the last thing to give you,
or art of any kind, is a low-paying job. Whether you're talking about writing books like me, or making music, or making social media content, or YouTube videos, or podcasts, you can argue among yourselves about whether or not it should pay more, or about how poorly artists are treated.
It's a low-paying job because it's a very direct ladder competitive play.
I'm saying
otherwise, you have to specialize yourself and do one thing in particular very well, and know how to market yourself. In other words, you're relying on other people to market you automatically. And sometimes you can delude yourself thinking that you are important, more important than other people. Or that you're not important. You can dilute yourself in so many ways and get dethroned out of climbing this slowly and surely.
Statistically, it usually looks like this. This pyramid graph is of all of the songs on Spotify, but we're just using this as an example. The blue down here, that's how many of the songs have basically 0 plays. Most of the stuff uploaded has been listened to by no one. The yellow part, these are the songs that have been listened to a few dozen times. If you've reached this, you've done pretty well for yourself.
140 million are the blue and the yellow. The rest is, this is 58 million or 60 million. Which, why is this shown to be, like, these two things shown to be less than this? It's actually not proportionate. I would not want to show this because this is really fucking mind draining. If you pretend that this is like proportion, it's not. Like, literally, these two combined is still bigger than this. It's not even like the size, the height is bigger. So, this is trying to like deceive you and make you pessimistic on this. I don't like it, actually.
Fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy.
He said the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. Man, fuck this guy.
Mental.
Well, he don't deserve empathy no more.
Elon Musk's Doge cost-cutting effort of receipts.
No, a fact checker
Top
showed
5
up
claims. But
and rebuted all Elon Musk efforts, which is kind of sad.
The teeth are made of calcium phosphate.
You can rebuild. Once you know what your teeth are made of, just eat more teeth. Teeth material. I didn't finish.
Do you think we need enzymes? We keep alive.
Some kind of phosphate, bro. Let's hear what are teeth made out of?
The next thing is taking a diet.
Hand soap. Ugh. Well, I don't actually believe this. I actually believe that teeth calcify all the way. All 360 degrees calcify. You can rebuild your entire body if you wanted to. But you have to have a good metabolism and circulation of energy. And most people don't got it, bro. They don't have the habit of exercising properly. I don't even have it. I haven't discovered yet. And Max Stats is exactly about that. He's discovering these like weird self-regeneratory abilities almost. Most of them will just come from self-esteem. Like, I heard power posing was debunked, but at the same time was a thing, and I think power posing is great. Because you have to put yourself in a position where nothing hurts, where you feel like proper human being. You feel in a correct posture. I have stand-up PC so I can get into a power pose a little bit more quicker, which is, that's how you should live your life. The closer you are to power position, the closer you are to high self-esteem. The power pose. Look at that. This one thing, for me personally, just changes my mind because I don't have it this in my life. So it is not optimal to criticize these people. Yes, these people exist, and it's kind of icky and weird to some because there are believers and followers and just icky stuff. But it's important to remain optimistic, extremely optimistic, that no matter what bad things happen, that you can rebuild yourself back up again. I have lost a tooth, where almost without my consent. Guess what happened? Guess. The tooth next to the thing that I lost came out to be as big as strong as 2 teeth. What? Just took its place. You know? My other teeth are constantly under attack, under pressure, so they fucking crumble into pieces, bro. But that one teeth told me that you have regenerative processes that will fill in the gaps properly, that will make you feel comfortable again with your body, no matter what happens. You just have to get the stress levels to a regenerative level, to where you're not losing but gaining. And often enough, like, you potentially can be even uncomfortable and touch places which supposed to regenerate, and maybe that also damages it. Who knows? Who knows how many bad habits we have? We have to remain optimistic that we can improve out of feeling bad. And I will end it right here. Thank you for watching. It's a pleasure delivering TikToks. And you better be subscribed. You better. I'm watching you.